Man, what's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome to the second episode of the Rods Pod YouTube channel. We got a preview of the Eagles versus the Falcons today, breaking down key matchups, what I expect to see, the keys to winning the game, everything. We're going over everything today, so we got another fantastic episode here going for you. So we got the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow. The Eagles play in Atlanta at 1 o'clock tomorrow against a new-look Atlanta Falcons team. When I was going through and doing my research and trying to analyze this Falcons roster, it was hard for me to kind of get a feel of who they're going to be, right? You got a new head coach, Arthur Smith, coming from Tennessee Titans, who are noticeably and well-known in the league to be one of the best rushing attacks for the last 2, 3, 4 years with Derrick Henry. That's usually not the nature of Atlanta. That hasn't been the nature of Atlanta. They've been more of a gunsling offense. So that right there poses a question of, what are we going to see? Are we going to see them try to devote more time to the running game and Mike Davis? I think that would be a mistake. I think they want to get there eventually. I don't think they're there yet. But you never know. I mean, they ran the ball a ton in Tennessee. And then also you got a new defensive coordinator in Dean Pease. Dean Pease is a defensive coordinator legend from the NFL. He's won a couple Super Bowls with that mean Baltimore Ravens defense with Joe Flacco. And then you also had him win one with the Patriots and Bill Belichick. So he's got Super Bowl defense experience. That being said, he's had a lot of talent. So we'll see what he does with this less talented Atlanta Falcons roster, but it's intriguing and it poses definitely a change from Dan Quinn and previous Atlanta Falcons defenses. So it's a hard game for me to break down, but I did find some pieces that I want to go over matchups wise that the Eagles need to take advantage of, and I'm watching to see how we go against some of their key guys and my keys to winning the game. So I just want to first kind of go over Atlanta's offensive line. And I've talked about this before. A major strength of the Eagles is in the trenches, being the D-line exclusively, right? We have a fantastic defensive line with the big four of Josh Sweat, Javon Hargraves, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and the depth goes on and on. And this Atlanta offensive line, man, it's not very good. They have two, I guess, staples you could say. Their left tackle, Jake Matthews, is a good left tackle. He's one of the premier left tackles in the league. He's kind of new to the offensive line as well, new to the league as well. I think he's a 3-4 year guy, so still young. But he's solid. He's a good piece on that line and something stable for them. And then they have one more staple at right guard in Lindstrom, who's looked good. Still also very young, guys. I mean, he's a 2-year starter in the National Football League as well. So two of their top guys are one, Jake Matthews, who's solid, and then Lindstrom, who's also very young core. And then it gets messy, right? And then it gets really messy. At their center spot, they got a first-year starter here, and let me get his name for you guys, Matt Hennessy. Matt Hennessy is going to be their starting center this week. He's essentially a rookie because he played behind Alex Mack last year. And he's going to go against Javon Hargraves and Fletcher Cox. And that's a tough task for a first-year center. And then to the left of him at left guard, they got a rookie who played right tackle in college, Jalen Mayfield, playing their starting left guard. Man, that's if you're Javon Hargraves and Fletcher Cox, that's open season. That's open season, and it is time to show what you can do. They're very weak interior linemen. Their right tackle is so-so. I don't have his name on here, but he's so-so. Nothing to speak up upon. So they're very young offensive line, not a lot of experience, and to be going against that Eagles front, that could be scary. That could be very scary. It's no question who their key players are: Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley, and then incoming Kyle Pitts. So, like I said with Arthur Smith, he's usually a run-first guy that goes into the pass. But there's no questions that their strengths are Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Kyle Pitts, Matt Ryan. I think they're going to sling the football all the time because they kind of have to, right? They got Mike Davis in the offseason come be their starting running back. He's a career backup. Never shown super flashes that he could do it for a full season. So, I mean, he's their premier guy now with Wayne Gallman behind him, who they just picked up, who doesn't really know the offense. I don't see him getting too much playing time. So this Atlanta Falcons offense, to me, is very mediocre, starting with their offensive line of being a below-average offensive line. So, I mean, that's just a little player analysis of what they got up front in the offensive passing game, offensive line, and their offensive playmakers. And then their defensive side of the ball isn't much better, right? They got Grady Jarrett inside, who's a stud. He's a Fletcher Cox-type playmaker, really good. And then you got a couple other guys. You got Deontay Fowler, who has been known to be really good since he's been in the league, but was really, really bad last year. PFF gave him a grade of about 48, which is miserable. And he was bottom 10 of the NFL at the hybrid linebacker role of disruptions, coverage, pass rush stopping. He was bad. He was simply really bad, and he's their second best playmaker on that front. They got a little bit of young talent in Deion Jones at linebacker. He can go. And A.J. Terrell is their former first-round corner, who is their primary stopper at the cornerback position. So when I look at this roster, I don't see anybody that scares me besides Kylan Ridley, and you can even throw Kyle Pitts in there and Matt Ryan. They're not an elusive playmaking roster. Besides those guys, defense is very suspect. A lot of holes. No real pass rush. The strengths at their linebacking core, very athletic, young linebacking core, but it's nothing to write home about, right? So this is a good matchup for Hurts when you look at it on a paper-wise, of playing a defense that really hasn't proven themselves. That's been bottom of the league for the past couple years, and this is a good game to get him going and not throw him in the fire immediately. That being said, my first key matchup is Jalen Hurts against defensive coordinator Dean Pease, defensive coordinator Dean Pease. Dean Pease, like I said, he's a legend, right? He's known for having good defenses, high talent defenses, and really mixing it up. He had a quote earlier this year that he said, they're blitzing and no position on the field won't be a blitzer. So he's going to be blitzing from cornerback position, safety position, linebackers, and that defensive line, trying to stack the box and trying to find a way to, manufacture pressure. He's going to have to, guys. Their defensive line isn't good. So he's going to have to find ways to disguise blitzes, to bring just something to scare and try to go against Hurts. And the reason I say, even though this isn't a talented defense, this is still a test for Hurts. If you're Dean Pease, you want to go against a young quarterback, right? You've been in the league a long time. Hurts obviously hasn't. You're going to want to throw the whole kitchen sink at him. You're going to have to disguise stunts on the line. I expect to be a lot of different boxes. You might see two safeties at the front disguising if they're going to blitz or step back in coverage. You might see some corner blitzes. You might see a lot of movement, defensive tackle standing up and then maybe dropping. I'd expect Dean Pease to throw everything at Jalen Hurts to try to get him off to test his IQ, to see if he can handle protections pre-snap, to see if he can read the defense with all those distractions, and to test him. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, Hurts is still unproven, although I think he's going to be really good. He's still unproven. So you gotta throw things at him, and I expect Dean Pease, as the veteran coordinator he is, to throw everything his way. Jalen Hurts is going to have to really lock in mentally to make the reads at the pre-snap, to understand what's a blitz disguise, where guys are coming, to set up the offense to be ready to go and to be most efficient. That's my key matchup, number one, is Hurts versus Dean Pease. Hurts is going to have to outsmart Dean Pease in the sense of not going for his fluff of we're stacking the box, then we're dropping, or we're bringing everybody. Be a step ahead. Hurts has got to be a step ahead of Dean Pease tomorrow to be successful, because this is a tough test when it comes to a D coordinator battle. So we'll see what happens. I think he's prepared for it. I think he'll use his legs to get away from some of those blitzes, because they're going to blitz a lot tomorrow. They have to. They don't have a stud pass rusher. So this is a good test for him to see if he can see where the blitzes are coming from, make the proper reads, put the protections, maybe switch protections to what's the word there, to match the defense where they're at. So that's going to be a big test to see how Hurts handles this veteran DC. Nextly, Next is in the trenches, right? We have to dominate the trenches. I know I've said this, and I said that sound like a broken record, but this is where our strengths lie. We're much better on the offensive line than the Atlanta Falcons' defensive line. We have 5 guys with Pro Bowl, All-Pro experience who played in the Super Bowl together, who have erupted and gained massive contracts like Jordan Mailata today. Congrats to Jordan Mailata. You're now a top 10 paid left tackle. Time for you to go show it, man. Time for you to go out there and dominate. We are much better than they are when it comes to offensive line versus defensive line battle. And the same goes for the opposite side. Our defensive line should dominate the Falcons' offensive line. They should be in the backfield nearly every play, making Matt Ryan's life miserable. Matt Ryan's a proven guy. If you give him time back there, he'll find opportunities to get his playmakers to football in Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. But if you make him have to turn out to be not a pocket passer, get him out of the box, and make him try to make throws on the run, that's where you win the game. That's where you cause some problems. And I think they'll take care of business. And I think they're going to be super, super problems for Matt Ryan and this offensive line. That's just my opinion, and they have to win that battle. If we're mediocre, if we're average, it's gonna be a game, and it's gonna be a long way to winning this game. We have to dominate in our front 5, front 7. We have to dominate. So that's what I'm looking forward to see tomorrow, is us absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage. And lastly, the last matchup I really want to see is Slay and Nelson versus Calvin Ridley. There's been a lot of talk about Kyle Pitts and the playmaker he is, and coming out of the draft, 4th pick overall. But it's hard as a rookie, especially as a rookie tight end, when you have to have blocking schemes. You're learning a whole new playbook. It's really hard to be an established playmaker week 1. I'm worried about Calvin Ridley. Not that Slay can't stick with him and can't be consistent and guard him and stay in front of him. It's just that he's going to get a lot of volume, and hopefully our D-line can provide pressure to not give him time to open up. But he's really good. If we hold him to under 80, 100, our chances of winning this game are very high. Their second-year guy, Russell Gage, is good, but I don't think he beats us. Calvin Ridley's the guy that can beat us on that offensive unit. We have to keep him in check. So those are the 3 major matchups I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow. And I think the Eagles need to win this football game. So those are 3 big ones there. Some guys I think are really going to have a big day for the Eagles. I think our tight ends are going to really have their way. So when Dean Pease is sending all these blitzes, there's going to be a one-on-one somewhere. And that middle of the field is going to be open if he's blitzing with that linebacker unit. That's where I think Goddard and Ertz are going to be our staples, our stable pass catchers in this offense, especially against this Atlanta team. Jalen Hurts is going to have to make quick reads when he sees the blitz coming, but you give Ertz and Goddard one-on-ones in the middle of the field, that's where they live. That's where they want to be. So I think both of them have big days. I think between the 2 of them, they go for 120 and maybe 1-2 touchdowns. I think definitely 1. Pick your poison of who's going to get it, but maybe 120 and 2 touchdowns between the 2 of them. Next is if you're coming, there's going to be a lot of susceptibility to screen passes and over-the-top looks. So if they're bringing all this pressure, you might see Quez Watkins or Rager break off a screen. You might see Kenny Gainwell or Miles Sanders get behind that initial rush and have some room to go with some big linemen in front of them. So we got to use Dean Pease' aggression against them. Use our guys, get the ball to them in space, and let them go. Miles Sanders, playmaker. Quez Watkins, playmaker. Devontae Smith, playmaker. Rager, playmaker. If you give them the ball with some room, I mean, it could be a long day for this Falcons unit, and they might have to drop back and stop sending those blitzes, and then you're in control as an offense. When you make the defensive coordinator go away from his game plan, you are in control. So that's what I'm looking forward to from the Eagles tomorrow, and it does start with 1, their trenches, and 2, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to get tested tomorrow. I know on paper this Falcons defense isn't good, but Dean Pease is very good. And he's going to find ways to disguise blitzes, disguise fronts, and throw the whole kitchen sink at Jalen Hurts, and he needs to be ready for it. That being said, I think we do win most of those matchups. I think if we win 2 out of 3 of those matchups, we win the game. And I have a score prediction of tomorrow to be Eagles 28, Falcons 24. When I was first doing my prediction, I had the Eagles winning by 10 plus, right? And then I started looking at it and I started putting everything together. This is this team's first game. This is Nick Sirianni's first game calling the plays. This is John Gannon's first game with his defense. This is Jalen Hurts' real first game as a starting quarterback in his team, right? So I expect there to be some here and there miscues. You might get some early penalties, but I still think this Eagles team is very good. And I'll pound the table telling you this Eagles team is going to be good. And that's because I believe in Jalen Hurts. I believe in Nick Sirianni. And I think they're going to get the job done. But I do think Atlanta's going to put up a fight. I think Dean Pease is good enough to cause some problems from here and there. And I think they can put points on the board. They always have been able to put points on the board. So I think it'll be close. I think it's 2 similar teams. I just think the Eagles are steps ahead, and they're going to need some time to reach their peak. But I do think they're steps ahead. I have it at 28-24. I have Hurts going for 265 throwing, 75 rushing, 3 total touchdowns. I think 1 goes to Goddard. I think you might see a deep ball or a screen pass get taken to the house. I think it's one of those 2 things with how aggressive Dean Pease is going to be. And I was looking at DraftKings today and trying to get you guys some best bets. The one I saw that it just blows my mind, and I understand that he's a speed guy and he's not very well known. But Quez Watkins over-under is 23 yards. And he might be the Eagles' second best option in that receiving unit when it comes tomorrow. I mean, he's got the ability to get 23 in 1 catch. He's a speed guy, but he's improved. He's really improved his route running. He's really improved his ability to high point footballs. He's gotten better. And he's probably, right now, him and Rager might be side by side at that number 2 option. 23 yards, I think, is a slap in the face. I think he's much better than that, can get that first, second quarter. And I think he's going to be a factor tomorrow in the screen game and trying to get him some deep looks. So that's my favorite bet is Quez over 23. I wouldn't dive into Hurts' over in the passing game just yet. Because you don't know what Sirianni's scheme is going to be. What if he is going to use Hurts like a Cam Newton type and run him 10, 15 times a game, or a Lamar Jackson type, run him 10, 15 times a game? We don't know yet. There's a lot of unknowns. But I do know Quez is a beast, and he's going to get open. He's going to be a factor. Devontae Smith, I think it's above 45. I'm hitting the over there too, right? When you look at this Eagles unit, you look at stability. Like, we have a lot of what ifs. What if Jalen Hurts is good? What if Quez, Rager play well? But man, that Devontae Smith dude, I don't know if he's a what if, right? I think there's no questions he's your legit number 1. No questions at all. He had 216 yards at half in the last college football game he played. At half. He can catch the football. He's one of the best receivers in the last 10, 15 years. So to me, he's not a what if. I think he's a stud. I think he's going to eclipse 45, 50 yards tomorrow. I'm hammering that over as well. I'm hammering it. If I did take a prop for Hurts, I'd probably go above at his rushing number. I think I saw it at 45 to 49 in that range. I would hit it above no matter what it is. I think he's going to lean on his legs. He's done that his whole career, and then start to open up as the game goes on. Those are my favorite bets. Man, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I really think the Eagles are going to show up and show out and show this mainstream media what we're really made of. That's what I'm looking forward to, is after beating the Falcons tomorrow, what are the media going to say? They look good. Hurts look good. That defense is legit. That offensive line is powerful. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. And I know it's going to happen tomorrow, and I can't wait. I'm going to get you all, obviously I'll give you a recap video soon of this game and how we do tomorrow. I'm going to be locked in, ready to go. I can't wait for tomorrow, man. I don't know if I've been this excited in a long time. So that's an in-depth analysis I got for you guys tomorrow and the game preview. I did want to let you all know that Thursday night, when the Cowboys lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, emphasize lost, they can cry about that all they want. I started my first ever Rod's Pod annual betting challenge. And this is awesome to me, man. Just growing the channel with my friends and family, and we're all engaging in some fun, right? So we're going to pick every spread. So everybody in this challenge is going to pick every spread for 17 weeks. And the person with the most wins at the end of the season is going to be the Rods Pod betting champ. They're going to get a trophy, and we got a big pot on the line. A big pot on the line there, guys. So I'll post standings at the end of every week. You can start to follow guys who you really like, who are eating, make fun of the dudes that stink, and they're at the bottom of the totem pole. Got to let them have it. And always follow me. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to win this thing for you guys. But stay tuned for what's coming next. I'm happy that's football's here tomorrow. I can't wait, and I'll get you guys another pod soon. Peace out.